Welcome to the Spy Collection. Today we'll have a look at an espionage case from Ukraine that involved the small button spy camera that several companies from China manufacture. It's a decent high-definition portable digital camera that, unless someone pays close attention, it's easy to go unnoticed. It's designed to be placed like a button, like this. But the camera aside, what happened? After the Russian invasion of Ukraine in February of 2022, a man from Rohan in Kharkiv faced a challenge. Like many others living in the eastern part of Ukraine, he was married to a Russian woman, and they were living sometime in Kharkiv and sometime in Belgorod, in Russia, where his wife had a house. Since Kharkiv was one of the primary targets of the Russian military, they both moved to Belgorod, Russia, right after the 2022 invasion. And it didn't take long for Russia's Federal Security Service, the FSB, to identify him as a potential agent. It's not publicly known how FSB managed to recruit him, but according to Ukraine's counterintelligence, he was recruited by FSB officer Evgeniy Nikolaevich Konyakhin. Note that in March of 2024, Ukraine's military intelligence agency, known as GUR, publicly released the details of over 600 FSB officers that they had managed to collect through cyber espionage. In there, under number 254, we can find the specific FSB officer. And here in a more structured way. And soon after that, more details became publicly available. According to Ukraine's SBU, it was in May of 2023 when his FSB handler tasked him with a new mission to return to Kharkiv through third countries, try to identify any Ukrainian military locations, and send back anything that he could discover. Quoting Ukraine's SBU about his actions while in Kharkiv, the main targets of the Russian agent were military training grounds where Ukrainian defenders were training. The suspect carried out reconnaissance sorties under the guise of work trips, during which he covertly recorded the locations of defense facilities. He also tried to covertly use his acquaintances, including military personnel and volunteers, by disguising friendly conversations where the traitor tried to discover the locations of Ukrainian troops, their approximate number, and the available weapons. And based on the evidence that SBU released, we know that he was using a spy camera exactly like this one to be precise. Ukraine's news network published back then that the intelligence he transmitted to his FSB handler through his mobile phone was subsequently used by the Russian military in targeted artillery and missile strikes. It's not clear how his spying activity was uncovered, but what is known is that police detained him on the morning of October 2024 on his way to work at a checkpoint in Kharkiv. Back to the evidence photo released by the SBU, we can see two SIM cards, likely used to evade detection, and actually the lower one is almost certainly from the Russian provider MTS. We can speculate that the top one would be from a Ukrainian provider, maybe Vodafone Ukraine. And the middle card is very likely a key part to this investigation, a local taxi driver that he used to commute to work. Around the same time, the Kharkiv Regional Prosecutor's Office made a press release about the case, where we read, in addition to the locations of Ukrainian military units, the suspect also passed information about the locations of district, territorial recruitment, and social support centers in the area. He sent the information in text messages with marked locations on Google Maps. To please his handler, the suspect provided the data precisely, writing, "Everything just the way you like it," with exact coordinates. The man searched for these locations while commuting to work. He worked at a market in Kharkiv, selling furniture fittings and doors. And continues, The Kharkiv region resident did not receive any money for carrying out subversive activities against Ukraine. He acted out of ideological support for the Russian world, Ruski Mir. He was detained by law enforcement officers at a checkpoint on his way to work under Article 208 of the Criminal Procedure Code of Ukraine. His case hasn't gone through court yet, so there is no verdict to share. But once again, this incident shed some light into the tradecraft that is used today and how important boots-on-the-ground covert surveillance remains. Many interesting lessons in this one, from recruiting the agent in a controlled territory, which drastically reduces any counterintelligence risks, to GUR leaking the details of hundreds of FSB officers to impede their operational capabilities, the to separate SIM cards to make SIGINT collection harder, all the way to using this commercially available spy camera to record Ukrainian military sites. All of them an excellent reminder that in espionage, nothing is as it seems.